Hello and welcome to Headlines Now with me, Deepthi. Before we move to all the stories for today in detail, let's have a quick look at the top headlines. Is the crisis with the NCP over for the moment? Pawar meets Sonia and lists out his concerns. The Election Commission rejects Mulayam Singh's vote in the presidential poll, says the secrecy of the ballot had been violated. In what looks like a bail for sale, a judge in Andhra says 100 crores was offered to him by a politico's family to bail him out. Dark night of terror in Denver as a masked gunman kills at least 12 at Batman show. In a move to pacify India, the US has assured that it will conduct a thorough probe into the killing of the Indian fishermen. The Madras High Court dismisses DMDK chief Vijay Kant's interim bail application. Tamil Nadu government allows 34 crores for the setting up of Fisheries Technology Institution at Tiruvallur. News in detail. Amid reconciliation talks between the Congress and Sharad Pawar, the minister's party made it clear that it's upset about much more than his being overlooked for the second most important position in the cabinet. Mr. Pawar's deputy Praful Patel refused to confirm or deny reports that both of them have sent letters of resignation to the Prime Minister. He blamed the Congress for misreporting the facts of the current rift between the two allies, causing some within the Congress of making unreasonable and unnecessary comments on the media.
There have been some political issues being raised from time to time between the Congress and the NCP, and we have had an ongoing dialogue over the last many years on many issues. We feel very strongly that the UPA now is entering its last 2 years before the next general elections, and it is time that we as a political party, the NCP, must, along with the UPA, gear up for the next round of elections in 2014. There are some sections of people in the Congress party which have been fueling unnecessary speculation and also wrongly briefing the media, including what I have been seeing in the print today and in the television channels today, that some of the demands of Mr. Sharad Pawar have been met, or some issues will be accommodated, or Mr. Pawar will get the number 2 slot, or somebody says Mr. Pawar cannot get the number 2 slot because NCP does not have the numbers. These kind of absolutely, I would say, unreasonable and unnecessary comments are being made by some sections of the Congress party.
शरद पवार साहब ने अभी प्रणब मुखर्जी साहब के जिस तरह से समर्थन में वोट किया है, संगमा उनके दल में थे, लेकिन इसके बावजूद उन्होंने जिस तरह से फॉर्मेडेबल ढंग से स्टैंड लिया और लगातार कांग्रेस यूपीए के एक विश्वस्त और महत्वपूर्ण हमारा सहयोगी दल एनसीपी है, और आप देख रहे हैं कि कोई ये किस तरह की संकट की बात आप कर रहे हैं.
Meanwhile, BJP spokesperson Shahnawaz Hussain says that the allies of the government are unhappy with it and that the government is playing politics of exercising pressure on the allies.
सरकार के पास जो सहयोगी दल हैं वो उससे खुश नहीं है. सरकार सहयोगी दलों को दबाव डालकर अपने साथ जोड़े रहती है और दबाव की राजनीति अपने सहयोगी के साथ करती है, और राष्ट्रपति चुनाव में भी इसका नतीजा दिखा है. लेकिन यूपीए गवर्नमेंट आज मुश्किल में है क्योंकि उसके कोई सहयोगी उससे खुश नहीं हैं. जहां तक इस सरकार कांग्रेस एक डूबता जहाज है और उसके साथ कोई भी ज्यादा देर तक रहने वाला नहीं है और उसकी शुरुआत होती दिख रही है।
Meanwhile, reaching out to sulking Sharad Pawar, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh hailed him as a very valued colleague and said that his knowledge, wisdom and experience are a great asset to his government. Singh spoke to Mr. Pawar last night after he, along with colleague Praful Patel, skipped the cabinet meeting, apparently unhappy over denial of number 2 status in the government. The Election Commission has cancelled Samajwadi Party Supremo Mulayam Singh Yadav's vote in the presidential poll that took place yesterday. Mulayam Singh Yadav had marked his vote for BJP's presidential nominee P.S. Sangma by mistake, so he asked for a second ballot paper and was given the same. In a written complaint to the returning officer for the poll, Sangma's election agent Satyapal Jain had objected to the grant of second ballot paper to Mulayam, saying that he was not entitled to another paper under the law. NDA's nominee Jaswant Singh filed his nomination papers for the vice presidential poll in the presence of opposition leaders including L.K. Advani, Sushma Swaraj and Sharad Yadav. 74-year-old Singh, whose candidature was declared by NDA on July 16th, filed his papers before the returning officer T.K. Vishwanathan, who is the Lok Sabha Secretary General. 3 sets of papers, one each by L.K. Advani, Sumitra Mahajan and Yashwant Sinha, supporting Singh's candidature were submitted to Vishwanathan.
It's a very happy occasion. It's also an occasion of great honor and distinction. And it's also what I said earlier. I'm an Ummeedwar because I'm inspired by Ummeed. And I do believe that the debate on these 2 positions, high offices of the Republic, ought to be on is much more and it's beyond numbers alone. It's also a question of the great issues that confront the Republic. NDA चाहता है कि देश उन प्रश्नों का भी उत्तर ढूंढे.
In a horrific event in Denver, a gunman today opened fire at a suburban movie theater, leaving more than 12 people dead and at least 50 others injured. The violent and chaotic scene erupted as a gunman stood at the front of one of the Century 16 theatres at the Aurora Mall, where the latest Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, was playing. Police said that the gunman had appeared in front of the theatre during the movie and released a canister which let out a hissing sound at the theatre before the gunfire erupted. The suspect was taken into custody, but no name was released. Mr. Oates said that there is no evidence of any other attackers and there was also no immediate word of any motive.
You think this can last?
The most that I saw was a girl who was pretty much covered in blood and she didn't have any wounds on her. So, I mean, it made me think the worst. A cop came walking through the front door before everyone was cleared up and before everything was completely under control. A cop came walking through the door holding a little girl in his arms, and she wasn't moving. I had heard another witness who was in my theater, someone else that I was talking to before the movie. We were waiting in line for it. She was on the phone, and the really messed up part for me was she told whoever she was talking to that she saw bullet holes in the little girl's back.
A judge in Andhra Pradesh has alleged that a powerful politician's family had offered to pay 100 crores as a bribe to him to ensure that he was granted bail. Lakshmi Narasimha Rao, arrested for corruption last month, has made this claim in a confessional statement. On May 11th, Janardhan Reddy, former Karnataka minister, was given bail by a judge of a CBI court in Andhra Pradesh. A few weeks later, the judge Pattabi Rama Rao was arrested. CBI sources had raided his homes and offices, as also those of his associates, and recovered large amounts of cash. The Empowered Group of Ministers, or EGOM, headed by Home Minister P. Chidambaram, set the reserve price for telecom spectrum option in the range of 14,000 to 16,000 crores. The ministerial panel had given the cabinet two options, and that it is also in favor of deferring payment for 2G spectrum. The deferred payment method is in line with the recommendations of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India.
The Empowered Group of Ministers discussed 3 specific issues today. Number 1, what should be the reserve price? Number 2, what should be the spectrum usage charges? And number 3, what should be the terms of payment? The Empowered Group of Ministers are going to make a specific recommendation on each of these issues to the Cabinet so that the cabinet decides on its mind.
More news and updates on the other side of a very short break. Stay with us.